and forget these leftist, communist, private corporations. I can't promise you if frames are going to drop or whatever as far as YouTube is concerned, but we're going YouTube. I just dropped YouTube live. There it is. Fine, if you want to watch. Because I'm fixing to drop the picture on you. If you're watching by YouTube, the RER Video YouTube channel. And when you do the search for the RER Video YouTube channel, then you can, you got to put RER and video together. No space in between. So RER Video, one word, channel, hit search, and you can find the live stream of my beautiful face right now. My beautiful ticked off face. Because you see, Omarosa called herself a dog. Well, here's the proof right here. Everybody's talking about this new book, Unhinged and everything. But what was her previous book? I've got it up right now on video. It's right there. You're looking at it right there on YouTube Live. What's the name of it? The Bitch Switch. Subtitled, Knowing How to Turn It On and Off. There it is. What is a female dog? A bitch. She's calling herself a bitch. She's selling herself as a bitch. The Bitch Switch. This is how she has glossed herself. She's embraced the fact that she's a female dog. Now I'm just going to say this right here and right now. To call Omarosa a dog is too kind. Because as a canine lover, because dogs are like the second greatest thing in all of creation. The second greatest thing probably that God ever created was the canine, was the dog. So to call Omarosa a dog, really, the quality of individual she is a compliment. This is what I'm really scared of. What I'm really scared of is Omarosa's husband deciding to divorce her. Let me talk to him really quickly. Hey, yo, dog. Why in the world would you marry this woman in the first place? Here's my suggestion to you, dog. Don't ever try and divorce this woman. Do it for the sake of humanity. Don't ever divorce her. I mean, it really is going to be until death do you part, and I would sleep with one eye open. Yo, dog, don't divorce this woman, man. Don't even mention. I mean, forget the word divorce, separation, any of that. Do it for the sake of us. Because if we are having to deal with this book, quote unquote, Unhinged, or whatever it's called, if you would divorce her, we are probably going to have to deal with the Omarosa sex tapes. And we just couldn't handle that, dog. Because she records everything. If you walked down the sidewalk of Washington, D.C., 14th Street, right around the corner from the White House, 17th Street, right next door to the White House, and Omarosa was walking down the sidewalk and you said good morning, you are probably recorded. This woman, she needs to be arrested. You're telling me that bringing a recording device into the Situation Room, a skiff, is not some sort of federal offense, violation of classified regulations. Oh, that's right. Omarosa doesn't have a thing to worry about because Hillary Clinton is taking long walks in the woods. She's piling up speaking fees down in New Zealand as she continues to globetrot. That would be Hillary Clinton. But there it is. There's the book, The Bitch Switch. She called herself a bitch. And then look what it says for the book. Her previous book. Look what it says. When a woman acts assertively, makes demands, and struggles for what she wants, she is labeled a bitch. The secret is to know when and how to turn on or turn off that bitch switch. Not being able to locate your switch leaves you open to being a victim. Not knowing how to turn it off will give you a label that is hard to shake. From Omarosa, the reality star, global television personality, and primetime villainess you love to hate, comes the bitch switch. The smart and bitingly honest must-read for every woman who aspires to succeed in relationships, in business, and at home. Succeed? How many times has she been fired? Please. And at home? Oh, that poor guy. Woo! That poor guy. I feel for him. I feel for him. I feel for all of us. And we all know Katrina. Katrina's from Dallas. I've been knowing Katrina for years. This woman was recording about Omarosa. No, dog is too good for her. I would equate her more to a half from, well, let me see. I would say hermaphroditical hyena is more like what I would classify Omarosa. Yep. Hermaphroditical hyena would be Omarosa. Who could ever trust this woman ever again in their lives? She was taping people, recording people during the campaign. She was setting them up to watch her back, so she says. Watch her back? Oh no, you can never, ever, ever fire Omarosa. You can't do that. You can't tick off Omarosa. She'll come out with some stuff. Who could ever be her friend? Ever. What man could ever trust her? Even her husband? Whew. Ladies, don't take any lessons from Omarosa. Please. Please don't do that. It's tough enough for us dudes out here anyway to know who to trust and who not to trust. Don't do that. Don't be an Omarosa, please. Don't be a female dog. Oh, that's a compliment to Omarosa, female dog. I'm just ticked off because she's messing with Katrina. I'm happy for Katrina. I'm happy for the success that Katrina Pearson, one of the original founders of the Tea Party, is having in Washington. Well, she wasn't in Washington, but she was still here in Texas. Been knowing Katrina for years. I've known the type of challenges she's had in her life, and the fact that she's having some good fortune right now. And then Omarosa wants to drag her into the mud. Got your back, Katrina. Got your back, girl. You may be off in D.C. and you may have forgotten us down here in Texas, but we haven't forgotten you and what you've done for us here in Texas. Got your back, Katrina. Watch your back from Omarosa. Any human being on the planet. Completely, totally untrustworthy.
Your grassroots political organization may benefit from having your own internet radio program. RagingElephantRadio.com can help you achieve that. By having your own RER program, you can personally inform your members and supporters of the top issues in your community and grow the size of your organization. Starting your own RER show isn't as hard as you think or as costly as you think. To get started, go to RagingElephantRadio.com and click the Advertise on RER button for a list of prices. Or you can email us, sales@RagingElephantRadio.com. Have your voice heard. Have your own show on RagingElephantRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Need to book a flight? Check out CheapoAir.com. CheapoAir offers you the fastest way to compare and book on over 450 flights worldwide. In fact, with CheapoAir, you can travel out and back on 2 different airlines to get a better deal on flights to more than 2,000 destinations across the globe. You can even look at alternate dates and airports to see if their low fares can get any lower. Plus, CheapoAir gives you the freedom to change your travel plans within 24 hours of booking. If something comes up, just give them a call. They'll take it from there. Cheapo Air makes it easy to save. Search their site, select your flight, and book, just like that. Your next trip is just a phone call, app search, or website visit away. Plus, with Cheapo Air, you can book with confidence, because with Cheapo Air's best price guarantee, you know you're getting their very best deal every time. Thinking flights? Think Cheapo Air.
Visit Cheapo Air through the RER Marketplace.
Miss Capelli?
Yes, I'd like to be on a commercial.
And what will you be advertising?
GoDaddy.com. Oh my gosh. It's a website where you can register .com names for only $7.95 a year.
And what exactly will you be doing on this commercial?
I could do a routine where I went like this. I'd like to be on a commercial.
And what will
Surely by now you must realize that you're upsetting the committee.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset the committee.
May I suggest a turtleneck?
Visit GoDaddy.com through the RER Marketplace.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Oh, this is so cool. Now, if you go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com and you scroll down in the right column, what you'll see is that we have a brand new YouTube widget. So our RER video YouTube channel is right there in the right column, and the live video stream is showing right there on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. That is so cool. And that credit goes to Barbara, one of the smartest IT people. She is no Omarosa, thank you, Jesus. Lord have mercy. What a nefarious person. Could you have a friend like Omarosa? I couldn't. There is no way in the world I could have a friend like Omarosa. So, if you want to see my beautiful face on YouTube, then all you have to do is go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com, and in the right column, you'll see YouTube live right now. It's a Monday, so I'm kind of I'm hoboing it. I got one of my old work shirts on, but I do have my Texans hat on. That's for sure. I am representing. I told you guys before that I'm going to be very adamant and determined to fight back whenever the church is under assault, when somebody insults, assails the faith. Well, Chuck Todd did it this past weekend on Meet the Press. So I'm watching Meet the Press, and towards the end of the program, Chuck Todd and the round table began to discuss the Catholic priest scandal. Okay, well and good. Discuss it. Reveal your trepidation, your shame, your disgust, whatever. But Chuck Todd went somewhere that I thought to be just unacceptable when it comes to assailing the church or assailing the faith. And there is a difference between the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church. Big doctrinal differences. But Chuck Todd went too far, in my view, when he decided to equate the evangelical support of Donald Trump with the Catholic priest scandal. So now it's gotten to the point where if you're an evangelical supporting Donald Trump, you are pretty much the equivalent of a pedophile. Oh, I have the videotape. So if you're watching on YouTube, great, you can see it. I'll make it a video clip later, I suppose, and I'll post it to RagingElePhantsRadio.com. But you've got to see this. It's unbelievable. Here it is. Video clip number 1. Let's go.
I'm curious of the larger societal impact of an evangelical movement that has turned the other way on this president and what he's done morally, a Catholic Church that you can't trust morally with your kids, even if you believe in them in your own beliefs. And what does that do to organized religion in this country?
I think it makes people more and more wary of going into churches or going and looking at pastors for some sort of moral direction for a long time.
But if not them, who?
I don't think there is. I think what the lesson here is that you really can't trust anyone. I should say this. I'll say it. I grew up with a grandmother who was very devoutly Catholic, who also said priests are men, and who also said be very careful of who you put your child with, regardless of who that is. So if it's coaches, if it's teachers, I think you need to understand, and I think we all understand now, that we need to be very, very more vigilant. And
unbelievable, if you ask me. Totally unbelievable. He equated. Wait, I actually have another video clip.
The larger societal impact of an evangelical.
I want to stop there for a minute. I want to put another video in here real quick. I'm thinking about this, and I want to put a different video in. It's the same audio, but I want to put a different video in. Hold on one second, guys. This is unconscionable to me. Totally, 100%. Unconscionable.
I'm curious of the larger societal impact of an evangelical movement that has turned the other way on this president and what he's done morally, a Catholic Church that you can't trust morally with your kids, even if you believe in them in your own beliefs. And what does that do to organized religion in this country?
I think it makes people more and more wary of going into churches or going and looking at pastors for some sort of moral direction for a long.
One more time for you to hear it.
I'm curious of the larger societal impact of an evangelical movement that has turned the other way on this president and what he's done morally, a Catholic Church that you can't trust morally with your kids, even if you believe in them in your own beliefs.
Ah, Lord have mercy. Can you believe that? Can you totally believe that? The evangelicals, because they've turned away from the quote-unquote wrongdoing of Donald Trump, somehow are the equivalent of pedophiles. Evangelicals turning away a blind eye to Donald Trump. This is what really trips me out. Those who aren't Christian, and apparently Chuck Todd is quite anti-Christian, those who aren't Christians should try to be Christians before they decide to be critical of Christians. As 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and chapter 2 tells us, they will never be able to understand how Christians think, what Christians believe, why we act the way we act, unless they become one. Unless or until they become one, they will not be able to grasp why we feel the way we feel, why we do the things that we do, why we say what we say, and why even in the case of a Donald Trump, evangelicals can, quote unquote, turn their backs on all of his immorality. So because evangelicals have decided to support Donald Trump and not Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election cycle, or because evangelicals will not join in with leftist and the neo-morality movement to eviscerate Donald Trump, to condemn Donald Trump, to repudiate Donald Trump, then that makes those who support Donald Trump somehow as bad as pedophile priest. I said that I'm going to strike back. I'm not going to let attacks on the church stand when they're revealed to me. And here's one right here. Anti-Christian Chuck Todd says that because you support Donald Trump. Now, I'm not you guys know how I feel about Trump, but I'm talking about you Trumpkins out there that are believers. And you decided that you would support someone, warts and all, such as Donald Trump, who at least has a track record of success in his own personal life. Yep, who has stepped in it in his own personal life, as all of us have stepped in it in our own personal lives. Because no one is perfect. The only one who is perfect is the Lord Jesus Christ. And so, because you understand that, and because you've decided to support Donald Trump over a leftist pro-genocide Hillary Clinton, you are as bad as pedophile priest. This is why I have absolutely no bridle, no harness on what I say about the neo-morality left. They're awful, just like Facebook is awful, and Twitter is awful, and YouTube is awful. They're more dangerous than China, Russia, more dangerous.
At Groupon, we believe the best things in life come to those who search. To the everyday explorers. To those who leave no stone unturned. We believe in discoveries, both big and small. Your new favorite sushi bar. Your morning yoga class. The flight lesson you never thought you'd take. The local business you might never have found. And that's why Groupon makes it easy to find and save on the things you do every day. With a new way to search and thousands of the best deals to search for. When you want to do or buy just about anything, anywhere, anytime, don't sit back and wait for it. Check Groupon first.
Visit Groupon through the RER Marketplace.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below market rates with above market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle. Now featuring Biosphere. Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
You need money overnight? Check into cash. Your time is tight. .com. Bank account's too low? Check into cash. So where do you go? .com. Do it online in a record time. It's the easy way to get money next day. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. You can be sure it's secure from our bank straight to yours. Do a quick click from home at checkintocash.com. Boom, boom, ba-dum, boom.
Check into cash. Check into cash gives you more money for your title and the lowest title loan rate anywhere. You'll save money because we'll beat any rate. Call Check into Cash and we'll prove it. If you already have a title loan, ask Check into Cash about paying it off so you can save money on a better title loan. Check Into Cash will beat any rate, anywhere, and we'll prove it.
Get on down. Check Into Cash. Visit Check Into Cash through the RER Marketplace.
Listen up, Texans. RER Nation has got to grow. We've got to have those RER app downloads. Android devices. Here's how to share the RER app. Get to your application manager through Settings, tap the RER app logo. There's your Google Play, right? Scroll down, see the share icon, hit it. Choose text or messenger. Pick a couple of Texas Patriots. Give a testimony in 160 characters. Send. iOS device folks, do the equivalent through the App Store. Let's get it viral. RER app.
Information, communication, action. RagingElephantRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. Later on in this program, Daniel Miller, president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. We've got some Alamo news that we have to talk about. Also, there's a new poll from Zogby dealing with the issue of succession. Spoiler alert, Daniel Miller was getting jiggy with it last night over these poll numbers. I'm not going to say he was getting jiggy like the Philadelphia mayor over sanctuary cities, but it would have been a good contest. Eugene Ralph is also going to talk with me today as well. Some good news on black engagement here in the Lone Star State and the Republican Party. But it's kind of crazy everywhere else. And then that's why Tracy Shannon is here, because she follows all the crazy stuff. She's our Raging Elephants radio contributor for the Culture Wars. Hey, Tracy, what's going on?
Hi. With that introduction, I thought maybe you're going to say I was crazy or something.
No, Tracy, I would not say, I would not consider you to be crazy. Just the opposite. My new saying is, I will not accept insanity for the approval of the insane, to receive the approval of the insane. And you're out there following what truly is insane, and I'm so happy that you're doing it. The neo-morality movement has had a direct impact upon your life. I think last week on one of my Best Of programs, I actually played your segment on Raging Elephants Radio when you shared with the world how the neo-morality movement impacted your family, the twisted thinking, and it's really had a damaging result to even your children, something that you're challenged with every day, and you're receiving victory. I'm amazed at how well you have done just in life and how well your children do in life with what they've had to deal with. I mean, just talk about that for a minute. I mean, Tracy, your resilience, your toughness, your steadfastness on this really needs to be commended. I don't know anybody else that could probably stand up through what you've been through.
Well, our victory comes from Jesus, and I'm standing on the promises of God for my children and for our future. You know, anything the enemy destroys or steals, God will replace if you allow him to do that. If you believe in him and you are, try to live a righteous life and follow him and seek his face first, then he will restore. And that's what's happened in my life and is happening in my children's life. You know, the enemy is always at work, and all the credit for the rebuilding, it goes to Jesus, all of it. And that is the reason I do this, is to educate others that they know that this stuff, that they put this window dressing on and dress it up like it's all pretty and safe, and they use words like inclusiveness, education, fun, anti-bullying, that they know that there's behind this is a movement to get your children to embrace, and the next generation to embrace this neo-morality movement to basically queer our children, to queer the next generation, to destroy families, which is the fundamental block of our country. They're trying to undermine our values this country is built on. And this has been going, for 120 years, we've been slowly having this progressive movement, take hold in our society, in every area, media, in entertainment, in education, and even in our churches now. And we have got to be aware, and we have to start a reclamation of our culture and of our values. And that begins with the parents, and that's where I want to warn parents, because we get so passive in our culture now about these things because we think it's should be embraced as acceptance. So we really need to know what's going on here and how dangerous it is for our children. The statistics that affect the community that is being advanced here, the transgender community, those are very scary statistics that we don't want those on our children. We don't want that. We don't want that on anybody, but we have to be able to advance our ideas and the truth. And, these people who push transition and all that, they're all about transitioning one way, but whenever, someone wants to come in and speak truth and help someone who has unwanted gender confusion get rid of it, they're not about that transition. They're against that kind of transition and transformation in someone's life. So I want to speak to that because I personally know how this can destroy families and hurts people. And also just statistics, they speak for themselves. I don't want to see people going through that. There are other options for people who with gender confusion besides transition. It is not a healthy way to approach this, and it is definitely not a cure.
We're talking with Tracy Shannon, Raging Elephants radio contributor for the Culture Wars. And Tracy, the stories that you're following, nobody else is picking up on this. I think some local channels here in the Houston area, and by the way, you are based out of Houston, I think some of the local channels here in Houston may have picked it up, but we already know that the Pride curriculum is in Texas schools through and through, down to the bone marrow. And we've shared information on how parents can go into schools and discover if indeed the Pride curriculum is in full effect in the school that your child is attending. But when it comes to other public domains like public libraries, we're seeing that it's really getting strange because drag queens are now at the tip of the spear of the neo-morality movement. Such boldness and such lack of what can I say? Decorum or, morality, I guess. Drag queens are now at the tip of the spear of the morality movement, and in schools and in public libraries. And you wanted to do a rundown on it because it's right here in Texas. We're not talking about California. We're not talking about San Fran Freak Show. We're not talking about Manhattan or Greenwich Village. We're talking about right here in public independent school districts and public libraries. This type of spectacle is going on, and you want to give us an update on how pervasive it's actually becoming. Tracy Shannon.
Yes, it is growing across the country, and we're seeing it impacting us locally with our libraries now embracing it, and it's a new controversy for the city of Houston that has got to be fought. And I really have been trying to dig into this and find out who started it first. And who pays for this? Because that came up on one of the segments that was on one of our local news stations, and there's some confusion about that. So I dug into that. But yeah, this growing movement, it first started in San Francisco. No surprise there. It's now in over, there's different counts, but it's at least 28 cities in the United States, and I've seen it seen as high as 48 different cities. Here in Texas, I know of at least 5 different cities that have hosted drag queen story hours. So the first person who started this was a woman named Michelle T. She started, she's a feminist writer. She also started a group called RER.
Hold on 1 second, Tracy. In case people aren't understanding, they haven't been listening to the station for a while, and they may not understand exactly what we're talking about. What we're talking about are storytelling time in kindergarten, preschool, in public libraries, and coming to a school library near you in your actual school. Instead of someone dressing up like my mother used to do when she did volunteer work for story time, and she would dress up as the African storyteller because in African culture, oral history is very important, and she would dress in her African garb and she would go and read to the children. But by no means would she ask the children to go shake their booties like these drag queens are doing when they're showing up for story time at summertime at the public library. And now it's set to be in the schools. So this is what we're setting up here, Saints and Patriots. You've got drag queens that are being brought in by teachers and librarians, approved by superintendents, coming in and reading stories, promoting the neo-morality, the new morality, neo-morality, and getting these kids to adapt it. This is what we're talking about. So what's the update, Tracy? You said this is up to 48 cities this has now surfaced?
Yeah, I mean, the people who are bringing this into cities, the original ones, they started things like adult entertainment companies and promotions. Like this lady, Michelle T., who's a contributor for Mary Claire and Cosmopolitan. I mean, we know what Cosmopolitan pushes. Those are, all these articles about sex junk and how to queer everything in modern life. So, she started a magazine for moms. It's called Mothers. So, word to your mother, don't read it because it's going to be a waste of your time, unless you want advice on how to screw up your kids, But, she's a queer writer and a spoken word performer. That's who started that out in San Francisco. Here locally, a 25-year-old homosexual man named Trent Lira and Devin Hall, 22-year-old bisexual woman, got this started in Houston. And they have a band as well, and they also host an adult drag convention called Magical Girl Day. So these are people who decided to bring this into our Houston libraries. And at some of these events, I don't know if this has showed up at any of our Houston events yet, but at some of these drag queen story hours, there's a drag-activity book, which is featured, and handouts are given to children from this book, where kids can find things such as their drag name. And it might start with something like King or Queen or the Great, and then they use a pet name or a snack name like Peanuts, the name of the street you live on, like Majestic Way or something, or another. So maybe their name would end up being Queen Peanuts Majestic Way or something like that. And another activity they do is circle your pronouns, where the kids would have a sheet and it says, when I am feeling hello mellow, I like to be he. But when I am Sonia side up, I like to be she. Circle your pronouns, and it gives choices: him, her, she, her, they, them, zazer, or am. Am.
What's AM?
Just some weird pronoun. Or you can make up your own pronoun, like, maybe tractor.
Tractor?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, just saying, just make up anything. Just use a word. I am tractor. I am they. I am zer. I am a or m. But a drag, and there's another handout that says a drag queen is a character you create to express your feminine side or any other side of yourself you would like to explore. So, you can get that book online. I'm not going to tell you where.
No, thanks.
Yeah, but now, in all these cities, this all started in 2015 with just one in San Francisco, but it really took off last year in 2017 after they had one in New York. And so in just such a short time, it's gone from one to, as high as 48. So this is not slowing down. And here in Houston, this has been defended. They just had a segment on the Isaiah factor just a couple weeks ago. And Mike Webb, president of the Houston LGBT Political Caucus, said, hey, why wouldn't you want to have, make reading more entertaining and educational and more culturally diverse and safe for all of us? Okay, well, first of all, that's not education, it's indoctrination. It is not culturally diverse, it is perverse. It is not safe to sow the seeds of confusion into children. It is, what is safe I want to know, tell me what's safe about bringing a child into the world of transgender confusion with all the terrifying statistics, I can't say that word today, which cannot just be simply attributed to disagreement or lack of approval of transgender lifestyles. I mean, why can't we just have story hours that help boys and girls embrace their God-given gifts instead of fantasy? I mean, boys, I think, should be encouraged to embrace their masculinity as the gift it is, and girls should be encouraged to embrace their femininity for the good gift that it is. I mean,
they now have a new acronym for this, Shannon, DQST, which I'm guessing means Drag Queen Storytime. The goal of Drag Queen Storytime, DQST, is to instill a sense of love, acceptance in our own children and encourage them to be true to themselves.
Right, but they're not being true to themselves. It's dress up. It's fake. It's fantasy. But one of the other quotes I saw on one of the websites promoting this, it says the group's express purpose is capturing the imagination and play of the gender fluidity of the childhood and giving children unabashedly queer role models so kids can imagine a world where people can present as they wish, where dress up is real. But dress up is not real. I mean, can we at least agree it's just pretend? And these are men dressed as women, overstating female characteristics like caricatures of women with heavy makeup on and long fake eyelashes and wigs and high heels and overstuffed bras.
It's as if, Tracy, they're trying to normalize the issue of being a drag queen like being a circus clown or something. Or a Halloween costume, or a masquerade ball, and it's a much more dangerous spirit than that, is it not?
Well, yeah, it's more dangerous than that. It's introducing the seeds of confusion over about gender. So it's very dangerous, and I mean they even say as much in just what I just read you. They want to. Promote this in the name of empathy, tolerance, creativity, imagination, and fun. But it is a much more dangerous spirit than that. Once you introduce this confusion, I mean, the statistics are showing now the number of teens who say they are gender queer, it surpasses by over 2.5% the actual population of people who are transgender in the United States. So this is having an effect on our youth, definitely. And it's a dangerous thing to be afflicted with, for sure.
Okay, Tracy, I got to take a break right here, but we're not done. There's a couple of quotes that you sent over to me that I want to read to the audience and get your thoughts on that aren't necessarily comforting. Let's put it that way. Hey, Saints and Patriots. Claver here, your favorite political flavor, always giving it to you straight, no chaser. Daniel Miller is still to come. We got to talk Alamo. We have to talk Texas independence. Daniel and my favorite subject. And Eugene Ralph is going to be here to talk black engagement here in Texas. Hang around.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's B-E-E-D-E ACandHeat.com. BeattyACandHeat.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
One of the premier property management companies in Texas, providing below-market rates with above-market amenities and service. Hartman has owned and operated commercial office properties since 1983, offering premium office space at an affordable price by saving businesses a significant amount of money by keeping taxes, utilities, and maintenance low. With over 30 years in commercial leasing in Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we have learned exactly what our customers require.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Managed on Christian principles with a strong dedication to community benevolence. Whether you need 1,000 or 10,000 square foot of office space, Hartman has that space in one of nearly 50 Texas locations.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Energy efficient buildings, customer-friendly experts, supporters of conservative causes. A Texas-owned and operated business for 30 years. A proud corporate sponsor of RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hartman, the power of proven results.
Visit Hartman online, hi-REIT.com. Call 800-880-2212 or click the ad on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Miss Capelli?
Yes, I'd like to be on a commercial.
And what will you be advertising?
GoDaddy.com. Oh my gosh. It's a website where you can register .com names for only $7.95 a year.
And what exactly will you be doing on this commercial?
I could do a routine where I went like this.
Oh. Surely by now you must realize that you're upsetting the committee.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset the committee.
May I suggest a turtleneck?
Visit GoDaddy.com to the RER Marketplace.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Take us wherever you go. Raging Elephants Radio, streaming on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching on the RER Video YouTube channel. Thanks so much, Saints and Patriots. Right after my program today, you don't want to cut the stream. The amazing Doc Green is going to be doing his Liberty Shock Jock thing. 8 p.m. tonight, H. Scott Apley, the H. Scott Apley program at 8 p.m. tonight and 8 a.m. in the mornings. He's our brand new broadcast activist here on Raging Elephants Radio, and he's doing a fantastic job. Right now, it's RER contributor Tracy Shannon, one of my favorite people in all the world. Been knowing Tracy for years, since the inception of the Tea Party. That's when we really were introduced to each other, was when the Tea Party cranked up. A lot of good friends were made when the Tea Party cranked up. A lot of activists, like-minded individuals, liberty-driven individuals really became good friends, and Tracy was one of the ones that I really enjoyed working with in those early days, and happy to be working with her again on Raging Elephants Radio as a contributor. And Tracy, one of the quotes that you sent over that really kind of tripped me out about DQST, Drag Queen Storytime, is some of the, I guess, sales propaganda on this. It says Storytime is targeted for 10 months to 10 years old, and, quote, shows like RuPaul's Drag Race have popularized the art of drag, and kids are interested. This is an age-appropriate event where they can come and see us, end of quote. Also, it says,
quote, "It is so important for children to be introduced to queer culture," end of quote. And then the final excerpt here that you gave me was, "It's fun, it's safe, and it is family friendly." Are you saying in their sales materials, Tracy, that they're literally using the phraseology, the nomenclature, queer culture to introduce this to a 1-year-older, a kid that's just coming out of crawling and just taking their very first steps, Tracy?
Yeah, they are. They're using that. It's on more than one website, and that specific quote was taken from a drag queen that is doing story hours right here in Houston that talked about how important it is. So to have people be introduced to queer culture. So and I looked up, as a matter of fact.
Now wait a minute, Tracy.
Some of these.
If it's for 10 months to 10 years old, that means if a mother brings her child to the public library for story time, they got to be there. Who's going to change the diapers? Who's going to, the mothers, the parents, one of them have to be there approving of this?
Yeah, let's get all the bad parents together with the perverts all at once. Yes. That's what's going on. That's what's going on, and they bring the parents that bring their kids there to soak this all in, and they think they're being really good parents because they think that they're teaching their kids to be accepting of everyone, and everyone has differences. There are ways to do that, and I think we've always done a fairly good job of that without embracing this very dangerous lifestyle. And also just drag queens, those are adult entertainers. You can look up these entertainers who have been going to the libraries to read to the children and entertain them and see their adult performances. I don't think most parents want those people who give lap dances and collect dollars, in the evenings and the nightclubs, entertaining their children. And I don't want to be taking my children into a library to use resources there and check out books and be bumping up against adult entertainers. What next? What fetish are we going to be having next at the libraries and in schools? Are we going to have the strippers come in? Are they going to put up poles in the library for exotic dancers to entertain children? I want to know.
Yeah, potentially. Why not? Let's get Stephanie Clifford in here. Let's get Stormy Daniels in here. What's her performance fee now? $70,000, $30,000, whatever it is. I'm sure Sylvester the Cat, the mayor of Houston, Texas, would be glad to up that for that type of entertainment. Tracy.
Well, speaking of the mayor, he's the one who appoints the board of community leaders for the Houston Public Library Foundation, which is a 501c3 organization supporting Houston Public Library. It's classified as a public charity under 509A1, and the foundation is a component unit of the city. The operations of the Friends of the Houston Public Library are conducted as part of the foundation's activities, and that is who funds the activities like this at the library. So they'll be on TV saying, "Oh, this is not taxpayer money," but the city helps pay for Houston Public Library Foundation offices. And, materials are put up, posters are put up, so money is spent, for this program. So it's not even just about the money for me, but yes, our city leaders, our city council members need to be opposing this at our public libraries for the good of the community. But also, this is not a good use of our resources as a city, no matter how minimal it may be. The Houston Public Library Foundation spends over $1 million a year on programmatic activities. So, and who donates to them? Kroger for one, Amazon for another, and many others. So maybe people want to not be donating to Houston Public Library Foundation if they're going to continue to support this kind of stuff going on at the library. And our city leaders like Michael Kubosh has done, we need to see more of that, more standing up against the transgender story hours. It's unacceptable.
Well, the last couple of stories that you have, I'm a full-grown man, and I've never in my life have had the need for feminine napkins, tampons. I, in all honesty, I have walked into men's restrooms where there are condom dispensers, but not recently. Thank you. But now there is a new push to have tampons in men's restrooms. Why, Tracy? Please tell me. Please tell me, because I'm utterly confused. Why would there be tampons in men's restrooms? Are they bringing new 13, 14-year-old girls who are into the bathroom? What is going on here? This is weirdness, Tracy.
Well, this is what happens when you indoctrinate people with, with genderqueer theory, right? So people don't know who and what they are. They think they're something else. So apparently now there's a hashtag that's been out for a long time now, I think well over a year. It's hashtag some men have periods. And Planned Parenthood actually tweeted that out, at one point. So, if anyone who's going to Planned Parenthood for any kind of, thinks they're going to go there for any kind of health care, hey, they think men have periods. So, and uteruses and stuff. So maybe find some caregivers who understand biology a little bit better than Planned Parenthood does. But so there are people who think, also Planned Parenthood was so kind as to call women menstruators because it's not inclusive enough to call women.
Wait, Tracy.
Menstruators.
We can no longer call. It is now improper to call a woman a woman. Is that what you're telling me?
Right.
There's a new name for women now.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood even like in a series of tweets corrected somebody and said that they should use the term menstruators in the place of women because some men have periods, and so menstruator would be more inclusive language.
Wait, menstruator, so that could be man or woman. It's based on whether or not you have a menstrual cycle. How are we supposed to be able to tell? And what if a woman has gone through menopause? What do you call her?
A non-menstruating menstruator? Of course. I mean, it's just so crazy because it's really pretty crude to call a woman a menstruator. I would be pretty that's something I'd feel like I might want to slap my kid if he called me a menstruator.
They're literally focusing on this biological function, and they're literally labeling a gender based on a single biological function, a distinguishing biological function specific to that one particular gender. But even those, I mean, what do you call a young girl that hasn't reached puberty as of yet? What do you call someone who has gone beyond their menstrual cycle? This is what I mean by insanity, accepting it for the approval of the insane. They're just coming up with crazy stuff that causes culture to spiral out of control. And if you don't acquiesce to their ever changing, if you don't capitulate to the new rules that are introduced every day, then something is wrong with you.
Right. I mean, it's enough to make your head spin. But all of this about men having periods too. It's about some women transition to male and go use the men's restroom. So it's a whole restroom issue again. And it's been a feminist cause to make feminine products free for a while now. I mean, I don't know. I could always afford maxi pads and tampons. And, I've been through some pretty tough times. I was broke in college. I was left homeless when my husband left me with 3 kids, and really, I didn't ever think I would be without feminine products, and nor did I complain that I had to pay taxes on my tampons. I mean, but that's a cause now, because apparently there are no bigger problems, to address in the United States. But yeah, that's a cause. And, they're not just correcting pronouns now, they're now correcting nouns because...
And body parts, and names of body parts. You can no longer...
Yeah, names of body parts.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
This is something that struck me the other day, Tracy. When it comes to science, right? When it comes to science, climatology is all the rage. Climate change, you have to accept it. Science has settled it. I thought that there were things in biology that had been settled. Apparently, that science is completely repudiated. It has been rejected. Biology, as we have known it, as we were taught in government schools decades ago and has been taught for centuries, if not millennia, is no longer adequate. It is inadequate. It's inaccurate in their way of thinking. In one set of circumstances, science is the be-all to end-all. And in the other set of circumstances, specifically biology and human behavior, science is to be completely rejected for the imagination of feeble and mortal men, women, and the other genders that are supposed to be out there, Tracy. Your thoughts about this?
Well, science is being politicized. I mean, scientific facts are what they are, and they're indisputable. Scientific theory is a whole different thing. I mean, there's a phrase in science. I teach science to my homeschool kids, and it says, and this is a true statement: science never proves anything. When you're doing real science, there may always be an outlying piece of data that can come up at any time, and which will invalidate a piece. A theory or even a scientific law. And that has happened in our history with real science. But the people pushing all this phony science, I like to say they blinded us with science because it's fake science, it's pseudoscience, that they're not doing science the right way. They're saying science is settled on climatology. No, it isn't settled. Models are not a settled science. Those are just models trying to make predictions, many of which have not been true. Climatology, that's a red hot lie. The global warming is just a red hot lie. And, saying that someone can change gender, come on, your DNA denies that. You cannot change your gender. There's no proof, for what they can't support or make a scientific theory or law out of the stuff they're pushing. But no, science is never settled. Biology is verifiable, through facts and through our DNA. I mean, we have over 2,000 differences in between the male and female biologically. So to say someone can just switch because they change a few parts and put on some makeup and some clothing, you can't. You just cannot do that. You can't change facts. So, but that's what they're trying to do. They're twisting the minds. I call it flushing our minds down the transgender blender. Putting it in there, pressing the button, and we're so confused. We can't even think straight. People are like, oh, but at least I can be happy now. Like, how do you know someone's going to be happy because they transitioned? The facts don't support that. The facts say that they have a very high suicide rate and a lot of other social problems, related to addiction and problems with relationships, between, and love relationships and domestic violence. And so you can't, that's not a supportable, verifiable fact that it makes people happy.
Thanks, Tracy. We'll talk again next week. You'll have another pile of stuff for us next week?
Yes.
Tracy Shannon. She covers the culture wars for us. Talk to you later, Tracy.
Thank you.
Attention business owners. The marketing plan of RagingElephantRadio.com is geo-targeted for Texas. From El Paso to Orange, Amarillo to Brownsville, the state of Texas is going to know about us, and they should know about you. Together, we'll have Texas covered like a blanket. When you advertise with us, you immediately get the benefits of statewide exposure. We are the way to advertise your company throughout the state of Texas and grow your customer base economically. No matter the size of your business, we have a package for you, starting at just $100 a month. Get started by clicking the advertise button on RagingElepantsRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming at RagingElepantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElepantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElepantsRadio.com.
Okay, girls, we need a night out without the husbands or the boyfriends or that sort of boyfriend who keeps texting you but never actually asks you out. What's up with that? Tonight is all about us, and with Fandango, it's all planned out. No lines, guaranteed tickets, catch a movie, and then go talk about it for hours. Oh, and we're gonna talk you out of texting that sort of boyfriend, too. Yeah, he's gross.
Do Girls Night right with Fandango, your ticket to the movies.
Hey kids, did you know that Daddy's a movie hero? Not the hero in the movies, the hero of going to the movies, buying tickets in advance, whisking his children past long lines to get first pick of seats where they're not blocked by big people heads. You know who they call this guy? Fandango Man.
Be a movie hero with Fandango, your ticket to the family night super-powered best dad ever movies.
No need to thank me, kids, seeing as you don't thank me for simple stuff like food, shelter, pants.
Visit Fandango through the RER Marketplace.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElepantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElepantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElepantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Find Raging Elephants Radio on Twitter at RE Radio Texas.
Welcome back, Saints and Patriots. Joining me now by Skype is the president of the Texas Nationalist Movement and a Raging Elephants Radio contributor. My fellow brother for Texas independence, fellow Texian, it's Daniel Miller.
I love it. You use the proper term and everything.
How did it change, Daniel? I have a couple things. How did it change from Texian to Texan?
Man, it's sort of a weird long story. It really didn't fall out of usage or start to decline significantly in usage until really after the Civil War. And there are a lot of theories out there about why the transition happened and some things of that nature, but for me, and it's been sort of this thing that has been a part of the organization, even before the organization, is, we utilize that term as a differentiation between the Texicans and the Texicants. we pay homage to those people who won the Texas Revolution, who secured Texas independence, and who turned the wilderness into an empire. Those people call themselves Texians. And so if people want to drop the I and continue to be a vassal state of the federal superstate, then that's their choice. But as for me and mine, we're Texians.
Okay, but isn't it going to take some sort of legislative action once we become a brand new republic to declare that we are Texians versus Texans? It's going to take an act of government, isn't it? Because come on, man, there's some folks out there that believe in Texas independence that have no idea about the nomenclature Texians. You gotta be fair on this, bro.
Look, it's an internal cultural thing for the organization. It's what we do. There are people out there that prefer the term Texan. It doesn't matter. What matters is at the end of the day, where we stand on the issue of independence. We use it as a cultural distinctive. It's just part of the organizational culture. And it's just, we're not looking to rebrand anybody or anything else. That's just, people will adopt or they will adopt whatever it is they want to be called, and everyone else will adapt to it. I mean, look, we've seen it. We've seen it happen. I'll give you a good example of small victory stuff. Are you ready?
Ready.
Back when we started, when the organization was founded in 2005, okay, not even going to go all the way back to, 22 years ago in 2 days. But you couldn't go to a meeting of a city government or county government and where they would start their meetings off with the Pledge of Allegiance, the Bellamy Pledge, where they would say the Texas Pledge. You couldn't find a meeting that would do that with a hunting dog and a Ouija board. Now we're beginning to see adoption of that. We saw even at the Republican convention in some of the caucus meetings, they began the caucus meeting. Part of the caucus meeting was not just the Texas Pledge, but the singing of the entire group of Texas, Our Texas. These are cultural shifts. Those are what people may view in the short term as small wins, but those things accumulate. When you begin to, and I heard some of the interview that you had before, it's one of the reasons that we talk about independence as a political, cultural, and economic. The TNM takes a holistic approach to it, right? You and I have talked about this, but we take a holistic approach. While a lot of people singularly fixate on the idea of Texit and Texas leaving the Union and a referendum, we've understood since day one that that's not a path by itself to a lasting independence. So we take the holistic approach, and it's not just about securing the vote and winning the vote, although that is part of it. It's about strengthening the identity of Texans or Texians, whichever you may prefer. It is about celebrating and defending our heritage and our culture. And it's also about the economic aspects of independence too, ending our entanglement with these foreign economic philosophies. So for us, it really is a well-rounded thing, because we understand that you can have one or two of those things, but if you're missing one of those components, you won't keep the other two very long.
Talk with Daniel Miller. He's the president of the Texas Nationalist Movement, and a good segue into the cultural, Daniel.
Man, we got philosophical right off the bat.
We got deep, right? Well, that's you though, man. That's our midnight conversations at 2 a.m. when we're not trying to figure out what's going on with Facebook.
Look, I'm going to tell you, man. I could seriously do a complete, like a 2-day, like a weekend kind of getaway, and do nothing but just talk about the philosophical underpinnings of Texas nationalism, because it is.
We need to do some sort of retreat, man. I mean, not a retreat where it's all day and it's like actually work.
Excuse me.
No, I'm talking about someplace luxurious that, not just Washington on the Brazos, but someplace luxurious that's got pool, that's got golf course, that's got go-kart track or something, man. A retreat where you can just kind of waddle in there after a few too many Texas tequila margaritas and hear what the Texas Nationalist Movement has to say on the cultural distinctions of the future Republic of Texas. That's
Well,
all I'm
look,
saying. True retreat, not just going like as work, a
Clay,
conference, a symposium.
Two things right off the bat. Number one, we're Texians. We don't retreat. It would have to be called a runaway scrape. That's number one. And number two is, as a bona fide card-carrying member of the Texas nationalist movement, you might want to check your email, because all members yesterday received a survey asking for feedback on a fall retreat.
Cruise, baby. I want a cruise. Is cruise one of the options in there? Cruise. That's what I want. Deep sea fishing, or at least get into the Sabine River somewhere and do some fishing or something, bruh. A lake retreat. We can go to a lake retreat. We can go to Lake Conroe. At least they got some bass up there. That's what I'm talking.
It's been like, I think, 4 years since we did Texicon the last time, the Texas Independence Conference, and we've got one of those that's in process. But I'm going to tell you, man, members have been all over saying, look, we want to do a getaway, we want to do a retreat, we want to spend some real quality, intimate time, we want to go over all these issues, we want to learn how we can be more effective, we want to eat barbecue. I mean, literally so far on the survey responses, in the field where it says, what would you like to see at a Texas nationalist movement retreat? You cannot imagine how many people have mentioned barbecue in some shape, form, or fashion in that survey.
Well, barbecue is the national food of Texas.
Yeah, I thought it just kind of goes without saying, right?
I mean, brisket, right? I went to a wedding in Alabama, and they had a spread of barbecue, and I was looking for the brisket, and they literally said, oh, no, that's just Texas. Hey, wait, I'm in Alabama. I'm in Bama. You don't have brisket. Oh, that's a Texas thing. I never knew. In all my multiple decades of walking on this earth, I never knew that brisket was some sort of Texas delicacy. I figured wherever barbecue was served on the planet, brisket would be on the menu. Apparently, just 2 states over, or 3 states over, it's not.
Look, you're going to get brisket in 2 places. You're going to get it at a Texas barbecue joint or a Jewish deli. Those are the 2 spots.
Well, now, if it's a Jewish deli in Texas, that's a pretty good linkage right there. I'll take that. Does the brisket have to be kosher?
Look, I don't know how they do it. All I know is I'll eat a barbecued brisket, or I'll eat corned beef. I'm not picky. Obviously.
Well, I'm more of a pastrami kind of guy over the corned beef. I think corned beef is a little bit too fatty. But let's talk about, Daniel, we've been messing around. We've been talking about important stuff, but there's a couple of topics that we do need to talk about. We were talking about this cultural segue into what's happening with the Alamo, something that the TNM and, quite frankly, other organizations that are very disturbed, ticked off about what's going on with the Alamo. It continues to be a battle. What updates do you have, and what actions are the TNM taking to make sure, well, it needs to be restored back in the hands of the daughters. That's what needs to happen. It needs to be restored back into the hands of the daughters. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Daniel?
Look, we've been fighting this battle since the inception. I mean, when this whole UNESCO fiasco went down with the World Heritage Site designation, we were about the only organization there that stood in their quasi-public meeting and had a negative word about it. I mean, we've been very clear about what it is as an organization that we want to see happen at the Alamo. We want the site respected as what it is. It is a memorial, and it is a cemetery. The blood and the ashes of the people that defended that place are still there today.
Wait, let me jump in, Daniel. Why do you think the citizens of San Antonio, or I could be wrong, you may have evidence to the contrary, why are not the citizens of San Antonio, those that are entrusted with the keep of the Alamo in perpetuity, why aren't they more enraged, in an uproar about how the Alamo is being treated, how it's being desecrated, turned into some sort of Alamo Wonderland, Alamo Disneyland? Why?
Yeah, it's the same kind of mindset. You know, when they had the battle over whether or not they were going to start allowing beer carts and vendors on the Alamo Plaza, and we raised holy hell about that. I mean, we asked them if they would put beer carts and a Ferris wheel in the state cemetery. You know, I mean, that's the way we have to view it. It needs to be properly memorialized. But look, all you need to understand about San Antonio's relationship with the Alamo is go back, and it's too lengthy to get into now, but go in and look at the efforts that went into actually preserving the Alamo by Lorenzo Zavala's granddaughter, Adina. You know, we've got a very fond relationship with Adina de Zavala because it was her that came up with the 5 character traits of a true Texan. That's what according to her, what she believes the points on the star represent on the flag. But if you go study the history of what had to be done just to preserve the Alamo, just even as it was at the time, the city of San Antonio has just sort of not had a real fond relationship with the Alamo. So look, here's been our assertion. So, you know, we fought the UNESCO thing. We fought them turning it into a carnival. You know, we fought this all along the way. And on a lot of those battles, we were by ourselves. You know, no one else was standing with us at those meetings and getting the invectives hurled at us and all of those sorts of things. But now things are critical. When we shot the flare up over this nonsense with reimagine the Alamo, you know, back when it was early enough that something could be done, not a lot of people were jumping on board this thing. And now we've got some other organizations that are jumping on it. They're doing things in the way that they do things. You know, I'm not necessarily fan of some of the tactics that are being used. I don't think they're effective, but the point here is that it is bringing more attention. So as we move forward, though, I think we all have to bear in mind that right now, short of legislative action, the Alamo as we know it is going to be toast, right? The Reimagine the Alamo plan, proposed by George P. Bush and his cronies. I mean, you know, again, way too much to go into on this program, but we've got all the documentation on our website at tnm.me, where we talk about the funding irregularities, the fact that there was an audit that came out that said that the General Land Office is very likely breaking the law. We've shown George P. Bush has basically lied every step of the way. But what the problem happened when we had a couple of different opportunities to fix this. The first was a couple sessions back, before the UNESCO deal was sealed, Donna Campbell filed a bill where she essentially said that we're not going to allow the Alamo to go into foreign hands. That was the first time. And the problem is that Donna Campbell could not even properly testify on her own bill. She didn't know what it did. She didn't understand the reasons, and so the bill died. Okay. The second opportunity that we had was in the last legislative session, where George P. Bush sat in front of a Senate committee and they grilled him like a roasted hot dog over this issue. And he came out of it, and in the budget before the special session, they had removed the funding for the Reimagine the Alamo plan. During the conference committee report, you know, to get that budget passed, it showed back up, and they fully funded phase 1 of the Reimagine the Alamo plan, even though no one has seen a final plan. You know, none of these things. I mean, you're literally getting ready to be able to go eat at a rooftop restaurant overlooking the Alamo that is essentially on the Alamo grounds. It's like all the work we did to pursue getting the Alamo restored to its original footprint is now going to be used to undo all the work we did trying to keep them from turning it into a dadgum carnival. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that we're running into. So essentially what people need to do right now, and we have all this on our website. If you go to tnm.me/defend the Alamo, we have what we call an Alamo action guide. You basically plug in your address, and what we'll do is we'll send you 2 emails. The first email is all the information to contact every elected official that you need to contact that can take action on this. And the second one is a link to download the report. What this is going to take is a massive swell of public support and public outrage directed at the right people right now so that we can get some legislative action on this that will undo the Reimagine the Alamo plan, that will return the Alamo to its status as an actual historical site and under the auspices of Texas Parks and Wildlife, like
it's
every other.
Ground. It is sacred ground. It is sacred ground. That's what it is.
You have to ask yourself this question.
On there. There's not supposed to be water slides. There's not supposed to be beer carts, taco carts, or anything else on there. That's what it's supposed to be. I got to take a break, man. And then when we come back, I do want to switch topics. I got to let everybody know that Daniel's book, Text It, is absolutely fantastic. If for no other reason, then I'm in it. Okay? There it is. All you guys that are watching via video, there it is. Texas, why and how Texas will leave the Union. And you can get it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Just go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com. At the very top of the page, click the banner ad, and we'll get a couple of bucks out of it as well. But it's a fantastic, fantastic book following up Line in the Sand, Daniel's first book. We'll be right back with Daniel Miller. We're going to talk about a new Zogby poll that has come out. It's a national poll, but it had Daniel dancing like the Philadelphia mayor over sanctuary cities.
Green Air technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Texas independence. Have you ever thought about it? What exactly does it mean, or is it even possible? Sam Houston said,
Texas will raise her head among the nations.
Was he a dreamer or a prophet? You can get the answers to these questions in the book Lying in the Sand by Daniel Miller. Doc Green says it's required reading for every Texan. Lying in the Sand by Daniel Miller gives you the information you need to be prepared to give an answer to anyone that asks. As a Raging Elephants Radio listener, you are the go-to person for your friends.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
This book is more than a good read. It will equip you to reach others while pursuing a better future for your family. Get your copy now by clicking on the link on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
That's RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Since a portion of the proceeds goes to support Raging Elephants Radio, it may be time for you to cross that line in the sand.
That line in the sand. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device. phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Texas talk is all the rage. Don't forget the amazing Doc Green, the original Liberty Shock Jock, follows me. Okay, lost a microphone there. That wasn't nice. Oh, wow. Unexpectedly lost a microphone. Gotta go to number 2 here. Alright. Daniel, the same problem I had last night, man, with that microphone. It came up again just right there as I came back in on the stop set. That was crazy.
That's odd.
I'm glad I had the backup microphone. You can hear me okay, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep, sound great.
I got to use the handheld. I don't know what's going on with the other one. I'll keep it up in case it decides it wants to work again. I think I just need a new board. That's what I think is going on.
It's not your board. But we can talk about that after the show.
Hey, just one quick question, though, man. I am so sick of Facebook. Nobody likes Facebook. I'm going to have to do a video on Facebook talking about how bad Facebook is. I think it's worse than China, Cuba.
I did that. I already did that twice. I actually took various points in the video and put pictures of kittens just so I could make it through the Facebook police.
Good idea. I'm going to have B-roll of kittens or iguanas or something. Just narrate, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard of this new social media site, MeWe? I've been looking at it. I don't know. I haven't opened an account or anything like that, but I've heard others talking about it.
Yeah, the TNM actually has a group over there, and of course, when all this, the last brouhaha, excuse me, that broke loose with Facebook, everyone was plotting an exodus, and so we want to accommodate our members, and so we went over, we created a group for the folks on MeWe, but what we have found from a practical standpoint is virtually everyone who migrated from Facebook to MeWe wound up back on Facebook. So it's part of the deal with social media. I don't know where this thing is headed, but I hope it sort of shakes out soon because it's difficult to. I'm getting sick of having to chase different social channels.
Why did they migrate back to Facebook from MeWe? What was the shortcoming of MeWe? There's not enough people have migrated it yet, or they're keeping both accounts, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some folks out there that are probably better to speak to that than me, but I'll just tell you, practically from what I've seen from the tech standpoint, people, where social media is concerned, people are going to migrate where their friends are. And the fact of the matter is that there was not that much of an exodus in the short term or long term, excuse me, from Facebook to MeWe. And so what you wind up with is, if the adoption period for the technology is too slow, especially when you talk about social media, if the adoption period is too slow, what happens is people get sort of tired of managing two different types of social profiles, because you have people that are never going to switch. When you look at
but from a business perspective and from a political activism perspective, that could be an advantage, right? If we're using some sort of foresight and we do manage, for those of us that are in business, or in your case, political activism, freedom fighting.
Yeah.
It's more advantageous to work both of them because you're on the ground floor. As your people come in, you're scooping them up. As new people come in, you're scooping them up. It's a ground floor situation, right? It's like being the first on Facebook and one of the first ones to open up a page. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but the challenge you run into, and I mean, we're doing some deep dive into practical activism here. The challenge that you run into is when you have technology platforms that are as fragmented as it is right now. Like, it's never been this fragmented. You've got Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, MeWe, Twitter, Gab, and a whole slew of other platforms. I mean, you and I were talking last night about video, and you got Facebook, you've got YouTube, you've got Periscope, you've got live stream, you've got Vimeo that's launched their live streaming platform, or they either have or getting ready to. So now you've got so much fragmentation. The challenge that we have from a practical activism standpoint is being able to reach all the different audiences on these. So, when, a good example, they say people don't like to know how the sausage is made, but I think that's the only way to appreciate the food that you get. But people, when they see a social media post, they don't understand that from a practical standpoint, from organizational communications, we have to do that post. We have to tailor it, both the images, the videos, the actual post content, all the things that go along with it have to be individually tailored for each of those platforms. When we do videos, when you record videos, different platforms have different formats that you have to post in. And then beyond that, because each different social media platform serves a different demographic, you have to tailor the content for the people that utilize that platform. So the Instagram content is not going to be received as well or engaged with as well if you take and repurpose word for word or exactly the Instagram or the Facebook content. The Facebook content notoriously doesn't work on a one-to-one par if you take it and just push it over to Twitter. Then you have to throw in the mix is that every organization out there is required to some degree to not only maintain all the social media, but at least some type of decent website. So, there's a lot of this technology fragmentation that most people don't get to see. I mean, they just see the end product. But fact of the matter is when you're out there and you want to be an effective organization, you got to play all positions. It's just the way it works.
I'm thinking, as an alternative to Facebook, it's really worth the investigation to see and put yourself in a ground floor position, because I'm really tired of the Facebook mess.
Well, look, Facebook's a problem. I mean, look, Facebook has got its issues. I mean, I told you a moment ago, I posted 2 videos talking about how trashy Facebook is. Over the last year and a half, 2 years, the TNM has had a running battle with Facebook. At one point, when they changed the algorithm, suddenly we had 200 some odd thousand supporters that could no longer see our posts because of a Facebook algorithm change. We had earlier this year, we had our Facebook.
You post something to Facebook without boosting it, you don't receive 0.1% of those who like your page.
Yeah, engagement for brands is in the toilet. I mean, everybody's talking about that now, and it's going to look at, Facebook temporarily will be able to drive advertising revenues with that. But even, what I was getting to just a moment ago, which is earlier this year, our Facebook ad account was canceled. I mean, we had a running battle with Facebook because they banned us from advertising, and they went back to an ad that we ran back in October of 2016, talking, and literally all it said was, are you sick of the federal government not dealing with the border and illegal immigration? And it was a link to our website. I mean, that was the ad that we ran. And they went back all the way to 2016 and canceled our ad account because of that ad. And so we had to get in. I mean, we got into a big row with them, and we finally got our ad account unblocked. But, the fact of the matter is that Twitter's no better. When it comes, I say they're no better. They are slightly better. The only challenges that we've had with Twitter are the fact that our follower counts fluctuate like crazy. We bounce over 10,000 followers just on my personal Twitter account, and then I wake up tomorrow and it's at 6,000, and then it'll climb back up, and then they'll just strip it all. And of course, they're saying that they're banning fake accounts, but I've seen messages out there from plenty of real red-blooded, living
4,000 fake accounts, right? 4,000.
Yeah, just all happen to be following me, right? I mean, but that's the kind of stuff we're running into, and but to get to your point, and I know this is odd because I guess we're talking about how the sausage gets made for Texas independence. This is going to be the battle. It's amazing that Kara and I were actually having this conversation a couple days ago, because we were, oddly enough, talking about Beto O'Rourke's mass text messaging volunteer program that he has. Everybody's getting text messages from Beto's campaign. And so we're explaining to my daughter how it worked and everything else, and how they're threading the needle on the law. They're technically not breaking the law. They're exploiting a loophole. But, we talked about how that all grew out of something that developed out of Bernie Sanders' campaign, and our full-fledged companies are doing it now. And we've talked about the technology gap. And you and I have actually talked about this, Claver, where our folks are going to have to, the guys that are really on board with what we're doing, I mean, not just the diehard activists like guys like me and you, but I mean, down to just the individual, they're going to have to get super familiar with technology, and they're going to have to begin to use it on a regular basis. When you've got...
Wait a minute. You're not requiring me to understand technology at the level that you understand technology, because I quit right now.
No. But and that's not what I'm getting at. But one of the challenges that we have is, and this, is how recalcitrant. And I'm not speaking specifically of supporters of Texas independence. I'm talking about people sort of on our side of the political spectrum, how reluctant they are to adopt platforms and systems that the other side has used for years and years, like automated volunteer phone banking that you can do right from your computer, or like this Beto O'Rourke thing with this collective texting business, the volunteer texting. There are tools and technologies out there like social media. If our side would take these platforms and just get super familiar with them and realize, look, every time I see something, I need to share it. I need to comment on it. I need to like it.
That's the way to beat the censorship, right? I mean, if everybody knows that the censorship is going on, if you happen to be one of those few people that an original post happens to be shown to, you got to beat it organically. You've got to like it. You've got to share it. You have to continually go into your likes, your favorites, let's say on Facebook, and make sure that they're not pumping stupid groups in there. You have to continually be vetting the groups that you like in your news feed. And when you see something from what you believe to be a credible news source and is valuable to those that are your friends and those who follow you, you've got to like it. You've got to share it. You've got to beat it organically, right, Daniel?
Look, the algorithm is based on, and a lot of these guys are going to this, but the algorithm for Facebook really is centered around engagement. Okay, that is what they're allegedly basing it on. So the way that you beat Facebook at their own game with the algorithm changes is you increase your engagement. So when the first thing you got to do is the pages that you like the Raging Elephants radio page or the Texas Nationals Movement page, you have to not just like it, you also have to choose to follow it. Okay. And when you choose to follow it, you have to choose to receive notifications from the page. So that's the 100% way that you can guarantee that you will receive information from that page. Then what you have to do is every time you see a post from that page, you have to, first and foremost, you have to engage with it with a like, or heart or whatever it is, but you have to engage with it some way. Then you have to comment on it, even if it's just one word, and then you have to share it. What happens at that point is that because you are engaging with it, Facebook will choose to continue to show those things to you, and it increases the likelihood that our posts will show up for other people. So, it's the Facebook algorithm is kind of a pain. It's like sometimes it feels like setting up like I just took on a part-time digital media director job. But the fact of the matter is that while Facebook is the predominant social media platform, if we are going to win, we are going to have to learn to win Facebook.
Okay, Daniel, before I let you go, man, with a few minutes left, I got to let you do your jig. I had to let you get jiggy with it, like the Philadelphia mayor over Sanctuary City, the new Zogby poll. Now, you sent me the article that's on the Texian website, and, well, you can run the numbers down, but the number that, of course, I want to focus on are the numbers on blacks. Talk about the Zogby poll, just generally, and then we'll break down the flaws in the methodology. We got about 6 or 7 minutes.
Okay, so here's the bottom line. Zogby did another poll about secession, which first and foremost, I think in and of itself is kind of interesting because this has been a regular occurrence for Zogby. They really didn't poll much until about 2009, 2010 on this issue. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's regular. The first time that we saw them poll on this issue, it was asking active duty military and their families how they felt about states leaving the Union. And we actually published the results of that poll in the booklet that we provided to delegates to the Republican convention a couple years ago. My apologies. Where 48% thereabouts, somewhere in that neighborhood, of active duty service personnel said they support a state's right to leave the Union. They believe it's an absolute constitutional right. So it's been interesting. Zogby has been polling this for a while now. So what they did was in July of this year, they conducted a poll and respondents were asked 2 questions. The first one was, if a majority of residents within a given state prefer to have the final say over their destiny without the control of Washington, D.C., then they should be allowed to have it. It is their right. Okay. Then the other one that they were asked, the other statement they were asked to agree or disagree with, essentially dealt with the issue if federal military intervention, if they would support federal military intervention against a state that made that choice. Now, yet again, here's what we got. We've got 39% of the respondents. Now, again, this is across the Union. 39% of respondents absolutely believe that residents within a given state have a right to leave. Okay, so what that does is that sentiment toward their state or any other state. Now, what's interesting about that number is that it is still higher than the people who say that states should be prevented from leaving. Okay, doesn't say that that a state shouldn't, that their state should or should not leave, but it's about whether they support the right. And when you have only 32% that believe that military action would be justified, that they would support it, now all of a sudden it's a game changer. I mean, it's huge.
Daniel, 47%. Now, let's keep in mind that this is a national poll. This isn't just Texas, which is one of the flaws. We wish one of these organizations would do Texas and Texas alone.
Right.
But this is a national poll. And when it comes to blacks, as I've been saying for quite some time, their numbers surpassed any other ethnicity on what issue, Daniel?
They want to go.
They actually want to go, but not the issue of a state has the right.
Oh, well, okay. So let's talk. I thought you were asking me almost a rhetorical question. I thought you were setting one up. Look, here's what it boils down to. For years,
47%, right? What the number
it's
was
47. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the issue of state independence, you know, that first question was 47% among black voters. I mean, that's huge. I mean, when you think about this, but here's why this thing
their belief that a state has a right to self-determination of those that were polled 47%, the highest of any demographic ethnicity demographic, the highest of any. 47% says a state has a right to self-determination. If they want to say toodaloo, here's the divorce papers, they have a right.
Look, this is what we said all along. We saw this mirrored in the Reuters poll back in 2014. This is what we've been telling people. I'm going to tell you what knocked me out of the box about this, and why I was glad to see it is there are so many people out there that are essentially saying that, well, because Trump got elected, this idea of a state leaving the union has kind of lost some momentum. And first and foremost, this Zogby poll, the numbers are as strong, if not stronger, than the last time that they polled this issue. Okay, they are, I believe, if we were to get the breakdowns in Texas, I think they would probably be even stronger than the Reuters poll. And you know, as we're talking about methodology, I think it's important to understand that they don't. Zogby doesn't make their numbers transparent. The Reuters Ipsos poll back in 2014 accidentally made their numbers transparent, and we were able to get our hands on those and publish them before they pulled it from their website. But that's how we were able to get the breakdowns of the 54% of Republicans, half of independent voters, 35% Democrats, right? So we were able to get the state breakdowns. But really and truly what needs to happen is we need the poll that matters, and that is the ballot box. We need to put this to a public debate and a public vote, and we need to let the people of Texas decide on what we want to continue to do. If we want to continue to be governed by 2.5 million unelected bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., or if we believe that the best people to govern Texas are Texans.
Daniel Miller is a Raging Elephants radio contributor. He's my very good friend. He's the president of the Texas Nationalist Movement. His book, Texit, you can get it at RagingElephantsRadio.com. Also, you can become a member of the Texas Nationalist Movement right there at RagingElephantsRadio.com, top of the page. Just click the banner, and you're there. $18.36 a month. The Texas Nationalist Movement, the TNM, is the preeminent organization advocating for the prophecy of Sam Houston to come to manifestation, that once again Texas would become an independent republic and raise its head among the nations. Thanks a lot, Daniel. Oh, by the way, Daniel, if they want more information on the Zogby poll, how do they find that? That information is platinum.
It's on our website at tnm.me.
tnm.me. Go find it. That information on Zogby, that's empirical data. Next week, Daniel. Talk to you later, my friend.
Adios.
That's it, Saints and Patriots. I'm out of here. It was a fantastic program. I'm going to move Eugene to tomorrow if his schedule will allow. Having such great conversation with Tracy, great conversation with Daniel. The original Liberty Shock Jock, the amazing Doc Green, is up next at 8 p.m. tonight. H. Scott Appley, don't miss him. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the Purifier, and I like it. From H-Town, may the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the future independent, sovereign Republic of Texas.